Alright, a quick guide on how to book and set up the RDP to the VM here. So you click on any of the places you want to schedule. You click on the booking time. The first time you click on the date, it's going to do the from time, from to. So let's say military 1415. The second time we click populates the to time. It's going to do that. And then we click book. So I now have this booking. You click on the booking and we go to details. It gives us the RDP information, which is not always correct. So if you're on number 6, the last 2 digits need to be 06. If you're on 22, the last 2 digits need to be 22. Sometimes the address given to you for RDP is wrong. So just double check that. So then you have to be connected to the VPN and you enter the credentials, which is student, lowercase s, accept the certificate, and we're logged into the machine here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder on the desktop, call it shared. We'll be using that later to mount things into the virtual machine. I'm going to run NCPA.cpl to check the network adapters. And we have the bridge network that we're actually going to be using. It's this one right here on the Intel card. So Intel Ethernet. It's the unidentified network. We open VMware. Close all the other VMs if you want. Alright, from VMware we're going to open the virtual network editor. And we don't see the bridge network until we do change settings, elevate the permissions here, I think. So now we see the bridge network on 0, and we need to make sure that it's changed to Intel here, because by default it's on automatic, so someone's already done this, but you change it to the Intel card here so that it's bridging to that network, because if you bridge to this network, you're going to be bridging to the wrong network. So you need to bridge to this Intel card here. You click apply, okay. And inside the virtual machine, we're going to edit the Kali VM. And right now, there's only one adapter, which is okay. I guess someone has removed the other 2. Normally there's 2 to 3 adapters, so we can add another adapter. The second one was the host only that was pre-configured. Actually, that's adapter 3, so that one will be the NAT, and adapter 2 will be the pre-configured host only one that was set up by default. That's the NAT's going to give us the internet. Alright, as long as VMnet 0 is set by custom to VMnet 0, the bridge network, and it's powered on up here, connected at power on, because a lot of them come off by default. So turn on the network card, and then I'm going to launch the virtual machine. We're actually going to go to settings as well for the virtual machine for Kali, and up here options, we go to shared folders, and we're going to, I guess it's not on yet. I guess we have to wait till it's on. And one cool thing is with the RDP connection open, we can copy paste files from our host system to the RDP connection. So in this case, for Lab 9, I've already configured, because I've done this before, I've configured the interfaces file, so I can actually just copy, Control C, and you can paste it into the virtual machine. And if I were to open that with Notepad, we can see that the interfaces I've already configured it for my magic number, making sure that it's all working. And we can copy that out as well once we're done, which I'll demonstrate after. So once this boots, the username is CST8247, student lowercase s is the password, which was not given to us anywhere. And by default, it opens up the interfaces file. You can close that, open a terminal window, full screen this. It's wonderful. Then now we can go into the options and we can load that folder that we just made on the desktop. So again, options, shared folders, always enabled, add. We're going to add the folder that we made on the desktop, which is the shared folder, and we're going to be using that to get our scans and the interfaces file back and forth between the VM and the host. And we need to make a folder and mount that. So in the home directory we made shared. So we have our shared folder, and then we're going to mount that, and it's sudo mount -t fuse.vmhgfs-fuse -o options allow other underscore UID d-u, and then group ID equals ID-G space, and then the host, the name of the shared folder we made on Windows, space, and where we're going to mount that to. So we're mounting it to the shared folder we just made above. Password student. So I made a mistake somewhere. Oh, here we go. I forgot the equal sign. There we go. So if I change to shared, we should now see the interfaces file that I copied over before. And if we go into that, we can see that I've already copied those interfaces. And normally we would edit the networking in here. This is the file. So every time I come in here, I have to re-edit this, but instead I figured out that I can copy the file back and forth. So last time I did that. So I'm going to copy from shared interfaces. Oh, I'm in the interfaces already. I'm going to copy the interfaces file to that one. Oh, sudo. Okay. And then these, let me make this bigger so we can read this better. Clear that. So the line here that starts with auto, that's saying which adapter should boot automatically on a reboot. iface is what interface we're configuring. So we're configuring, this is the configuration for the loopback LO. This is the configuration for ETH0. So here are the settings for ETH0. That's what we want. We're setting a static IP, and the last number, the last octet is your magic number /24. And then for Ethernet 1, it's set to manual, which means it's going to be down when it boots. And the rest were all the default settings that were here. Ethernet 2 is the DHCP for the internet. So if we use those settings now, and we do sudo systemctl restart networking, we should have gotten ENUAT. The other thing we have to do is we have to disable NetworkManager. So sudo systemctl status NetworkManager with capital M. So that actually interferes with the settings for some reason. So we're going to stop it. And then we're going to restart the network one more time. And if we do IP-C for color A, we should see our addressing. And right now all the interfaces are up. And we're actually going to use IP link to set it down instead of if down. So if down is a high-level script which utilizes IP link. And if it's not completely set up correctly, it often doesn't work, which took me a while to figure out. So sudo IP link set device eth1 down and eth2 down. So eth2 down. And now if we do IPC-A, the two devices are down and we have no connection to the outside, and we can safely start scanning. And we're in the shared folder now, and if we start doing a scan, let's say sudo nmap-sn just to get ports, not ports, sorry, the ping sweep here without scanning ports, and let's just say 172.30.166.25, and then we do output, and let's say that's going to start scanning, and it outputs to all three formats. And while that's going on, I'm just going to do an example. Shared, I'm going to touch test. And if we open that folder, we can see the test file I just made. Make test 2. And we can see that test 2 is there. So just as an example, we can do the other thing you want to do once you've configured your networking. So once you've configured your networking with all your addressing and it's working and all of that is configured, you're going to want to copy that file. So copy, and then you're going to copy that to your shared folder. And then from your shared folder, you can open up your Windows, you're on your own host, your own laptop, you can open up a folder. You can copy from here, copy. And you can bring up your Windows. I already have it, so I don't want to overwrite it. I'm going to make a new folder. Let's call this test. And if I go and test and I paste, it actually pastes that interfaces file from the Kali VM, which was mounted into the RDP session, which is then copied from RDP onto your host system. So the next time when you go to do this, you can just copy the file back without having to reconfigure everything again. All right, so that's set up now. Also, all the scans are going to come in here. So this is a good place. You can start keeping all the RDP scans. Get rid of all these files. And in here, all the RDP scans are going to be kept, and you can export those as well when you're done. So as you see, nmap scan ran, we found a host, a MAC address, the host is up, nmap works, and the 3 files that we just scanned are right here. And when you're done, you can go to the desktop, you can copy that folder of your scans and bring it back to your host computer, and you've got all your data. And that should get you going. Good luck.